welcome back to our channel. For this week's video, you guys have been asking me on TikTok to start my sourdough journey on YouTube as well. As most of y'all know, if you follow me on TikTok, I have been doing sourdough recipes left and right on there. I'm gonna be trying a new recipe today. I'm gonna attempt a sourdough cinnamon raisin bread. I'm gonna walk you guys through step by step on how I do it, and we'll see how this goes. Let's get started. Right here I have my scale set to 0. This is the bowl I always use, and a red one. So I have it set to 0. The first thing I need to do is grab 150 grams of starter, and I fed my starter this morning, so it's ready to go. Pretty much doubled in size. This is my bleached starter, and it looks so good. Wow. 150 grams of active starter. Right on the dot. Ah! Okay, that's 150 grams. And we're gonna zero that back out. Okay, next we're doing 325 grams of filtered water, but I use a water called Highland Spring here in the UK. It's room temperature. So we zero this back out and measure 325. I've been pretty close with my guesstimating. Almost. I just gotta take out 2 grams. I went a little over. Okay, and we're gonna zero this one back out. Okay, next we're going in with 25 grams of olive oil. I get this one from Tesco. I'm just gonna use the rest of this first. It's 15. Went a little over. There we go. 25 grams of olive oil. We're gonna zero this back out. Okay, next we're going in with 10 grams of salt. Zero that back out. We're gonna take our little handy dandy mixer. I got this on Amazon. It took 2 weeks to come in. We're gonna take this and mix what we already started. And once that's mixed, we're gonna hit 0 again. And now we're going in with 500 grams of flour. I get this one from Tesco. It's the perfect for sourdough and bread baking. It's a strong white flour. $432, I need some more. Okay, 432 grams, we need 500. A little over. Okay, 500 grams of flour. We're done with the scale, and now we're just gonna mix all of this until it makes a shaggy dough, and you don't want any flour pockets. That's why this is perfect, because it gets all of it. Oops. This part kills my, stop, arm.
What? Let me try it.
It's exhausting. You have to stir it, but you're not breaking it, you're stirring it. All at the bottom. There you go. Wait, no, okay. You're doing too much.
I'm gonna mess it up.
Okay.
How am I gonna mess it up?
Because you're playing around with it.
Like to play with my dough.
Okay. This is the texture you want. It's like a shaggy. It breaks apart. Now I'm just going to cover this for 30 minutes to an hour. You're just going to let it rest. I'm going to just cover it with saran wrap. I usually use shower caps, but I'm out. So 30 minutes to an hour, and I'll be back to see you guys when that time is up. It's time for our first stretch and fold. So I'm just going to take this cover off. My hands are a little wet. All you're going to do is grab from the bottom and pull up, stretch, place down, quarter turn. Pull up, stretch, place down, quarter turn. Up, stretch, down, quarter turn. Up, stretch, and down, quarter turn. And then we're gonna do this 4 times every 30 minutes. So that one's our first one. Cover it back up. Come back in 30 minutes. All right, we have hit our next 30 minutes. So we are going to stretch and fold one more time. Fingers are a little damp. We are going to pull up, stretch, down, up, stretch, down, down, and down. And that's it. And then we cover again and wait another 30 minutes. Stretch and fold number 3. Jose's cooking too, so there's a lot going on in the back. But same thing, pull up, fold over, pull up, fold over. My hands aren't wet this time. Up, over, up and over. And then we got one more, and then that'll be the last of our stretch and folds. Stretch and fold number 4. We have made it to number 4. Up, down, turn, up, down, turn, up, down, turn. The last one's always hard to stretch, and down. All right, now we're letting this rest 1 to 2 hours. It's 7:40, so probably about 9 o'clock is when I'll check on it, and then we'll do the next step. It's officially been it's almost been 2 hours. So now we're going to dump this on the counter full of rice flour, because rice flour doesn't stick. So we're going to flour the counter, a clean counter, and then we're gonna plop this on top of it and form a ball, and then we're gonna let it rest for 10 minutes. I like to add a little bit of flour on top, that way it just doesn't stick to my hands completely. But we're just going to try our best to form a ball out of this. So you're doing candy cane shape. I'm still working on it, I'm not the best at it. You push forward and you pull back, and while you're pushing forward, you're tucking under the dough to form the ball. Sounds easier than what it actually is. Let's try our best. I would say that wasn't too bad, so we're gonna let that sit for 10 minutes and I'll be right back. You don't have to cover it or anything. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. I'm gonna flour the top one more time because this is gonna stick to the counter if I don't. I'm gonna flip this over. And now we're going to form a rectangle, because this is where you can either fold it and be done with it or add your inclusions. And this time we are gonna be adding inclusions. I'm gonna be doing a raisin and cinnamon. We're gonna see how this turns out. I have not made this flavor yet. So stretch this out into the best rectangle that you can get. I do want to try a blueberry and lemon one next. There's the rectangle. I'm using these little raisins that I had got the kids because I don't have any other ones. So we're just gonna sprinkle these. And then we're gonna sprinkle on some cinnamon. I think that's good. Next, we're going to fold to the center. I'm gonna add some inclusions towards the middle. And spread those out. Some more cinnamon. Same thing, flip this over. Cinnamon and inclusions. And now that this is ready to go, it's folded and everything's added in it, we're rolling it towards the back and tucking it as we roll. Things are gonna fall out, but it's okay. Just throw them back in there. Get in there. And then we shape it back into a ball once again. So we're doing the candy cane motion. I'm gonna flour a little bit. We're doing the candy cane motion. I don't mess with it too much, that way not everything falls out. I'm gonna flour my banneton really well. I'm gonna grab this, flip it upside down. Okay, this is gonna sit for an hour. I do sprinkle the top a little bit, and then we'll check on it once the hour hits and make sure that it's rising like it's supposed to. It's not supposed to come up that fast, so it's definitely not ready. Rises up slowly and takes its shape. It's ready to put in the fridge overnight. So we're gonna cover this up. I'm just gonna do a kitchen towel and we'll come back in an hour. We have hit our time. It's about to be 12:30. We're gonna test it and make sure it's good to put in the fridge. Okay, you see it slowly comes back up. So that means it's ready to go in the fridge. I'm gonna leave this overnight and I'll probably cook it around 8 or 9 a.m. So I will see you guys in the morning. Good morning, it's officially the next day. I have my oven already preheating at 500 with my Dutch oven in it. That's warming up, but in the meantime, I'm going to start on the last part of the bread. I just pulled it out of the fridge. This is what it looks like right now. The last step to this is just putting down parchment paper, plopping it over and scoring it, placing it in the Dutch oven, and then we'll have some bread. Won't take much longer before we can finally eat this, but let's go ahead and finish this up. Okay, so first thing I do is place down some parchment paper, just like this. I'm grabbing my rice flour again, a little bit of flour down. We're going to flip this over onto the parchment paper. And then whatever flour is left, I kind of just smooth it around. Now it's time for the fun part, which is the scoring. Okay, with this one, I think I'm just gonna do a side score. And I also got this on Amazon. It came with the Banneton and my scraper and everything. It was a package deal. But I'm going in and getting a pretty deep cut on this. I figured I'd change the angle so y'all could see it better. You just want a deep cut in here, because if you don't do any cuts at all, I guess the gas builds up in here and they can explode. I have my deep cut, and I think I'm just gonna do little corn, what are they called, corn stalks? Maybe like 2. So that is what mine is gonna look like. We have the deep score on this side, and then we have the 2 little corn stalks right here. We're gonna see how that looks when it goes in the oven. But now all I have to do is grab this the way it is and place it into my Dutch oven. This is my beautiful Dutch oven my husband got me. Okay, so I'm just gonna take the lid off, put this in there, just like this. Put the lid back on. Now we put it back in the oven, and it's gonna sit with the lid on in the oven for 25 minutes. I've noticed that whenever I make my pumpkin loaves, that the bottom tends to brown more. It looks almost burnt. It's not exactly burnt, but it looks almost burnt. And I found out on TikTok that if your bread is doing that, all you have to do is get a baking pan. Your rack in your oven, underneath the top rack that you have your Dutch oven on, you put that baking sheet in there. I did it once. I didn't notice a difference, but maybe I just didn't do it right. I did it halfway through the baking because I literally like had found out about it. But I guess that helps if you have browning on your bread. But in the meantime, now we're just gonna wait for this to cook the 25 minutes. When the 25 minutes is up, we are taking the lid off of the Dutch oven and cooking the bread for 20 more minutes. So in total, this bread is gonna cook for 45 minutes. Dropping this down, I'm doing it between 450 and 425. I'm gonna pull this out. Now we're just taking the lid off. Ooh, I can smell the raisin. Okay, and then now we're just gonna let this cook. I'm gonna do 15 minutes for now, and then I'll check on it. I just wanna make sure it burns or anything, and it should be ready to go. See you guys in 15 minutes. The 15 minutes is up. We're gonna check on it and see what it looks like. Oh, it smells good. I'm gonna let this cook for like 3 more minutes. It smells so good. First thing I always do is grab it immediately from the Dutch oven, move it over to a cooling rack. So this is what it looks like right now. The scoring, you can't really tell. It just made 1 line. But this side where you score it, you can definitely see it. So now we're gonna let this cool, and the bottom, I can grab this to show you guys. And one way you know if it's cooked or not is you tap it. If it sounds like that, it means it's cooked. We're gonna let this cool for anywhere between 2 to 3 hours before we cut it. So this is just gonna sit out until it's ready to cut. But I'm excited to see what the inside's gonna look like. We're back, it's officially 3 p.m. so it's been longer than 2 to 3 hours. Ava and I finished this one. I cut this one open. This is a blueberry lemon, and this actually turned out really good. I like this one. It's like a muffin. So here is our cinnamon raisin. There's no sugar added into this, so it's not gonna be sweet, but we're going to cut this open and see what it looks like inside. I'm gonna just cut it right in the middle so we can see exactly. The detail. Hopefully I cut it all the way. Oh, that's pretty. That is pretty. There's a little swirl going on in there. Look at that. Look at that. Cinnamon raisin.
Can I have some, please?
Yes. Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Let's cut some up and try it.
Mom, cheers.
Mm.
Mmm.
It doesn't need sugar because the raisins are sweet.
I like the little things, like those things.
After dinner, I'll give you some nerds. This was good.
Can I have some more, please?
It tastes exactly like a cinnamon bagel would. The raisins are like the perfect touch of sweet. I really like it. Give this an 8 out of 10.
I give it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
It's really
No,
good.
100 out of 10.
It's
No,
really good.
50,100 out of 10.
This is that cinnamon detail I was telling y'all. That's in it. It's perfect. Oh my goodness.
Take a squishy.
It's so squishy.
Mm.
That's it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoy my sourdough recipes, join my TikTok. I post a lot of sourdough recipes over there. And if y'all do like these YouTube video sourdough recipes, let me know. That way I can make more for you guys because I enjoy baking every day. But with that being said, y'all have a great rest of your week and we'll see you guys on
The